the Tanya, who the Asa is supposed to say. The Tanya was taught in a Bais. The Bechor, Nemar, Leisifte, it says the Bechor shall not be redeemed. The Bechor, what happens with the Bechor is if it gets a mum, so it's given to the Kayan, but it could also be sold to the Kayan, but for a different price, sold as a Bechor. But it's not a sacrifice anymore, but it's not redeemed. You can't redeem it and treat it as chulin, even though it has a mum. So it says, by Bechor it says like sifta. V'nimkarhu, but it's sold, which means that it could be sold to the Kayan as a Bechor. It's supposed to belong to the Kayan. I'm not sure. We didn't really learn about selling it to the Kayan. Remember? We didn't mention selling it. Anyway, but Meiser Nema La Yigal. By Meiser it says this Bais. It's quoting the Bais. Muhammad Aleph. By Meiser it says it can't be redeemed also. Ve'ein nimkar, but Meiser is the 10th animal. But over there it says it can't be sold. Leichai v'lei shachat. Not while it's alive and not after it's slaughtered. V'lei tam v'lei balmum. Not while it's a tam, not while it's perfect, and not if it has a mum. It's never redeemed or sold. So what are we saying here? Are we learning this from the pasuk of who? To tell me that even though Kodesh Kodashim who, that it is holy. But the Bechor you can sell. It you can't sell, but a Bechor you can sell.
So where would Rabbi get to learn this?
Taisvis.
Okay. Counts.
Very good. You see the top Taisvis of the Rabbi?
Right now, yeah.
The Gemara says about Temurah, and this is probably the reason why this Gemara comes in here, because of this next piece. We're wondering why. What are you telling me? This Abai and Rava, it has nothing to do with our Gemara. But no, it was all based on this next piece that we're about to say. Very Temurah, but what about Temurah? Damar Rachmana, that the merciful one says, that you can't exchange one animal for another animal. You can't exchange a sacrifice for another animal. Ut Tana, and it was taught in the Mishnah. It doesn't mean that you're allowed to. When it says anyone can exchange, it doesn't mean that you're allowed to. What it means is that it's effective, and you get malchus. What do you mean it's effective? Alma mahani tiv to the Rava. According to Rava, it shouldn't be effective. You should get malchus just for trying. But it shouldn't work. Amar lach, so Rava will say to you, Shani hasam damakra v'hayahu smarasi yakaidesh. The pasuk clearly says that's an exception. The pasuk clearly says that it and its Temurah will be sanctified. It and its exchanged animal. This is an exception. Ula Abaya. According to Abaya, I don't need this to be an exception. According to Abaya, everything is effective. If the Torah says not to do it, it's always effective. Why do I need this pasuk v'hayahu smarasi yakaidesh? The Bais says he loved Amar Rachmana v'hayahu smarasai. If the pasuk didn't say that, hava amina teitzi zu v'tikanizu. Bais says I would have thought that it's totally effective. The emphasis is on that the first one is not effective, that it doesn't go out. That's the chiddush. You follow? So the emphasis here, according to Rava, the chiddush is that the new animal becomes kodesh. According to Abaya, the chiddush of the pasuk is that the old animal doesn't go out from kedusha. Kamash Malon, it comes to teach us that the old animal doesn't go out. Okay. Very Bechar, but what about Bechar? The firstborn animal, Damar Rachmana Leisifte. It says that it can't be redeemed. Utanan, and it was taught in the Mishnah, Yesh Lem Pidyon, Ulatmar Sem Pidyon, Chutz Mena Bechar Mena Meiser. That even if you try to redeem a Bechar, it's not redeemed. Alam Malai. Is it Alm? I'm sorry, thank you. There's an Aleph. Alma Lai Mahani. We see that it's not effective. Who's that a question on? Tifta da Abaya. According to Abaya, it should work. It says you're not allowed to, and it's not redeemed either. According to Abaya, it should work. So Amalach, probably Amalach Abaya. Shani Hasim Damakra Haim. That has a special pasuk that says that they are, and that means Bahaviyasan Yiyu. What is the full pasuk? You have it on the side over there. Ach b'char sharai b'char keser b'char ezlei sifte kodesh haim. Because it says kodesh haim, that tells me that over there, thank you, that over there I can't, not only I can't redeem it, but it's not redeemed. It's not redeemed even if you try. Ulurava hai haim lamalei. What do I need the word haim? According to Rav, it's never effective anyway, even if you try to redeem something that you weren't allowed to, it shouldn't work. So it says, Hein Kraven vein Temurah Kraven. It's coming to teach me halacha. That if you do Temurah on a Bechar, you don't bring you see, a Bechar is the firstborn animal. You can't exchange the firstborn animal for another animal. That it becomes,
It'll never be a Bechar.
It's not a Bechar. So you don't bring that Bechar, you don't bring the new one as a sacrifice. So the pasuk says, Haim, that it's a Bechar, but you don't offer the Temurah, even though you weren't allowed to do that, and it becomes Temurah, but you can't bring that up as a sacrifice. Ula Abaya, according to Abaya, Hai Svarim Minali, where does he know that he can't bring the Temurah of a Bechar? Imshar Imseh La Hashem, Imshar Imseh who, it's supposed to say. Who Karevein Temurah Sekreva? When it says who in that pasuk, Imshar Imseh who, that tells me that from the who that you don't bring the Temurah. V'Rava, what does Rava do? Einachinami demehukra. Rava says yes, Abai, you're right. You learn that you don't bring the Temurah from the word who. So go back to Haim. Elahaim lamali. What do you do with Haim? Limad al b'charu ma'aser shenesarav daman v'kol ha'ilon shakreven legabes me'ach. We come to a new halacha here. We're going to use the Haim. That they are. What are we learning from they are holy? Coming to tell me that if the blood of these sacrifices of Bechor and Ma'aser gets mixed up with other sacrifices, that I can still sprinkle it on the altar, which we've learned in the Zvachim. Bloods get mixed up, you can still sprinkle it, it's still there. Va'abaya hai svarim minali. Where does Abaya know that? Abaya says, no, I know that from what it says by Yom Kippur, that the blood doesn't get nullified. Over there it says, Mi valakach midam apar midam asar. The Kohen Gadol takes from the blood of the par, the bull, and from the blood of the goat. Abaya's understanding that they're mixed together, and he takes them both and he sprinkles them. Now, the problem is, we know that there's more blood in the bull, in the cow, than in a goat. The goat's much smaller, there's less blood. So why is it not nullified? So Mikan, from here we see, that they don't nullify each other. The Tanya was taught in a Bais of Lakach Midam Apar Midam Asar Shiyum Muravin. The Rabbi Yoshia says, this is a machlokes. If on Yom Kippur, when the Kohen Gadol sprinkles from the blood in the goat, does he sprinkle it both together, mixed already, or it says he sprinkles from the blood of the par and from the sar, but not after it's mixed, before it was mixed. Okay, that's what Rabbi Yoshia says. So according to Abaya, we have it worked out that you should be allowed to sprinkle the blood even if it's mixed. Rava says, Hassam over there, he learns like Rabbi Yonasan, who argues on Rabbi Yoshia, where the blood wasn't mixed. There's no proof from Yom Kippur that if the blood is mixed, that it doesn't get nullified. Okay. Vari Meiser. Go a little further, very Meiser. But what about the Meiser, the 10th animal, that says that you can't redeem it? Utanan, Yeshlem Pidyon. Most sacrifices can be redeemed. Ula Temurah Seyim, and their Temurah can be redeemed if it gets a mum. Chutz min ha-bechar min ha-meiser, except for bechar and meiser. We discussed bechar before. But al malay mahani, we see that for meiser, you can't redeem it. So you have to dabaya. Not only can't you redeem it, that it's not redeemed even if you try. That means that it's a question on Abaya. Abaya says that when you try to do something that's prohibited, it's effective. And that's the prohibition. So Amar Lach, Abaya will respond, Shani Hasim di Aleph, Evra, Avara mi Bechar. We learned from Bechar that just like by Bechar, it wasn't effective. And because he learned that we use the word who, So too by Meiser as well. The Gemara says, a new case. And right, the two times it says to pass through. Okay, let's stop over here by Malayascha. We'll stop right there.
The morning is for Isano ben Chaya Rochel.
My daughter got engaged.
Oh, Mazel Tov. Beautiful.